Hare Krishna, good morning. Please put the senses all praise to Srila Prabhupada. We'll go ahead and get started. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadambini Dadati. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing to read Madhurya Kadambini. I hope whoever has the book, right? So it's such a beautiful book as we are progressing through this by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So yesterday, Vamshi Gopal Prabhu very nicely did the presentation and he completed up until Ruchi. So just to take a quick look, right? We started off with a little bit of faith, Shraddha, somehow or the other. Some devotees gave us some mercy. Somehow our process started. And then we associated with devotees, started with the Sadhu Sangha, and then somehow by again mercy, received initiation, and then Guru Maharaj is really guiding us through the process. We are continuing to do our sadhana, but bhakti process is continuing. Bhajana Kriya started, but then again, we are imperfect and we know that, but we are still continuing to do our Bhajana Kriya. And along this process, Anartha Nivriti has also started, which is really the purification, right, of all the anarthas that has accumulated throughout our lifetimes. And then as we are progressing through this path, through so much of mercy, so much of endeavor, so much of that, we start to develop more and more discipline in our life and we become steady in the devotional process. And that is the stage of Nishtha, where we are like, okay, now, I mean, we are not there yet. This is like hypothetical. In the future, one day we'll get there where we will be like so steady in the devotional process, right? So that's going on to Nishtha. And then was the stage where Ruchi comes in. Now, Ruchi is taste. That's like a very high level. So now going forward, right? So at the same time, Maharaj has been, Romapad Maharaj has been giving these same classes in parallel at Portland. It was nice to hear him also because it kind of gave a deeper understanding than what we are reading. So he said that starting from the stage onwards, like Ruchi and all that, it is kind of, so far out there. So you can see that there is a lot of the poetry that comes into play because something that is out there, we are not able to understand. So the use of poetry is also being used here. So did the Ruchi, right? Ruchi was yesterday. I just want to read the last paragraph is so beautiful because Ruchi, one other way to see it is it's like a dance, Ruchi. So it says that the blissful devotional service, the last paragraph on page 41, the blissful devotional service performed by the expert devotees is like a dance. The devotee begins to learn the lessons of that dance. Taken by the hands of the dance instructors, Ruchi, he learns all, experiencing an extraordinary, unprecedented, unimaginable golden bliss, which cannot be described. In what blissful realm will he come to exist when in time he is made to dance by the supreme masters of dance, Bhava and Prema? So that is so beautiful. So it's really the Ruchi is compared to a dance. And again, it's like the taste, right? Now you got the taste, what it is like. So again, it's a very high level, Ruchi is like a really high level stage. So moving on, again, all of this is like, as I said, we are reading the book and explaining nothing of this is kind of realization or all of that because these are very high levels, right? The next is Ashakti. Ashakti signifies that the flower of ecstasy, which is bhava, and the fruit, which is prema, are soon going to appear. So this is the stage just before bhava and prema, that is Ashakti. And we have to understand also there are two things that is paying importance here, right? One is bhajan, which is a devotional process. And then the second is object of bhajan, who is Krishna, right? So that's what we need to understand, right? Our focus is really on Krishna here, right? So let's look at the next slide. Here, it's really, again, I completely dependent on Maharaj's explanation, and he gave this comparison yesterday, so I kind of took it from there. It's all in this book, but it's just put into a chart here, like a comparison chart between Ruchi and Ashakti, right? So in Ruchi, what happens? Prabhu explained yesterday, Ruchi is the bhajan process. So the first quality was where the bhajan has to be top quality, like the services have to be top quality, everything has to be top quality. But the second category was where it doesn't matter what quality it is, it's all about Krishna. I'm just going to sit and listen. It's all about that topic. It doesn't matter who is singing, I'm still going to get attracted, right? So that was the higher stage where no impurities are left. So we saw all that yesterday. But again, bhajan is the main object in Ruchi. But in Ashakti, guess what? Lord is the main object. Lord becomes the main object. Now in Ruchi, both the components of bhajan and object of bhajan are there. Both are there, but they're not still not mature stage. But in Ashakti, both the components of bhajan and object of bhajan both become very mature. In Ruchi, one has to make an conscious effort to counteract material desire and fix the mind on the Lord. But in Ashakti, the absorption is spontaneous. No effort is needed at all. And then in Ruchi, cannot detect how when the mind withdraws from spirit, right? In like we will be doing bhajan and all that, but then quickly our mind will go to like material attachments and things like that. That's what happens in Ruchi because we still have a little bit of the impurity left. But in Ashakti, we cannot detect how when the mind withdraws from matter. So this is opposite here. It is like sitting and talking all the practical things in daily life and all that. And guess what? We suddenly go into Krishna's because Krishna is more attractive here. So the opposite thing is happening in Ashakti. And then here there is some tinge of impurity may still be present, right? Initial perception of the Lord's appearance happens here in Ruchi. But in Ashakti, attachment cleanses the mirror so good. It is like squeaky clean. The heart is so clean. The Lord appears without warning in his reflection. So can you imagine like this is such higher stage where now Krishna has really started coming also, in the heart. Desire for the Lord but with the direction of intellect in Ruchi. The intellect is still operating here. But in Ashakti, desire which is natural, spontaneous, there is not much of intellectual direction here because now heart is so squeaky clean, directly relating with Krishna, and all of that is going on. So very high level stage. You can see this Ashakti stage here. And then other aspects of Ashakti, right? Here Maharaj gave very nice example of Queen Kunti's prayer. That was given here. So here what happens in this stage is there is spiritualization of I and mine, complete. Like there is no more false ego here. No more thinking that I am this body and this is mine and all that other stuff. Complete spiritualization. And then the material aspect is just a trace, a ganda. And then meditation is very deep in this stage actually. And then example of Queen Kunti's prayer, where 1842 Srimad Bhagavatam, she says, "O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without any hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn into thee," right? So that prayer, we know Queen Kunti's prayer, where she's praying like that. So that is the stage of Ashakti, where you're constantly, like completely in Krishna. Then there's like nothing else left. So some other references is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in 1135, Rupa Goswami says that without attaining Ashakti, Bhava Bhakti cannot be obtained. So these step by step is very important. And this Ashakti is the preliminary stage before Bhava Bhakti goes on. And then after Bhava is the Prema. Jiva Goswami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam 5.6.18, right? Even though one executes sadhana bhakti with attachment, until the time one produces intense ashakti in that bhakti, the Lord does not give him bhava bhakti. So like this is kind of a mandatory step before. It's not like we can bypass this step and go on to prema directly, but rather this is like in that process, this is one the stage which will come. So that's really kind of actually that's what it is for this ashakti. But again, since there is little time, I'm thinking there's just so beautiful, or everybody can read, but it gives so nicely here, right? See in page 43, this is what ashakti, devotee in ashakti looks like, right? Although practically we may not see like this, anybody talk, but it is so beautiful to read it. Early in the morning, seeing another devotee coming from somewhere, he will begin talking. You have a shaligram shila in a nice case hanging from your neck. Your tongue is quivering every moment from tasting the nectar of Krishna's name as you chant softly. Seeing you like this, I, most unfortunate, feel overwhelming joy. Tell me, why are you doing these activities and what holy places have you visited? Describe all the great saintly souls you have met, making yourself and others successful. In this way, he will spend some time drinking nectar in intimate conversation. Then, going elsewhere, he will say to another person, by the extraordinary fortune of having that attractive book under your arm, I can guess that you're very learned. Please explain that one verse of the 10th canto and bring to life the Chataka birds of my ears by the sweet shower of your explanation. Hearing the explanation, his body hairs will stand on end. Again, there's so much more. It's so beautiful just to see. Again, as I said, practically we don't see anybody speak like that, but it's so nice to see like the meditation. Going elsewhere, he will say, oh, just today my life will be successful, for this gathering of devotees will immediately destroy all my sins. Thinking in this way, with humility, he will pay repeated obeisances on the earth, being honored with affection by the most learned and advanced devotees, the crown jewel of the assembly. He will sit before him in a humble, crouched posture and beg from him with tears in his eyes, O Master, you are the remedy for the material disease afflicting the three worlds. I am the most fallen and depraved person. Please diagnose my malady and advise me what medicine and food to take. By that miracle drug, please restore me to proper health. Overjoyed with the devotee's glance of mercy and his trickling nectar of sweet words, he will stay for some time to serve his lotus feet. And then I'm just going to go to the last one right here with the second last paragraph. When asked what is the matter by friends, he will remain silent and sometimes hide his feelings. His friends will apologize. He was all right before, but now his intelligence has become covered. The followers of Vedanta will conclude that he is an idiot by birth. The followers of Vedic rituals will consider him fallen from purity. The non-devotees will say, he has amassed with some great treasure. And the offenders will say, he is pretending. In this way, others will judge him. But the devotee, far from considerations of respect and disrespect, having fallen into the current of the great celestial river of attachment, Ashakti to the Lord, will simply continue his attempts to come closer to the Lord. So just so beautiful explanation that's given. As I said, this is, although we are not there, I think this book just gives a lot of hope of what it could be once we get to the other side. So again, thank you so much, devotees, for giving this opportunity to read and recite from this beautiful book. Hare Krishna. We'll go on to chanting.